Hey, you saved us.
Hey,
Preacher,
I started this out.
Who would have thought the preacher would have carried the golf coach?
So much fun. Welcome into the Road in Between. Today I'm with my good friend, Sean Covich, Coach Sean, from West Virginia University. We are down here in Meridian, Mississippi, back at his home course, Northwood Country Club. We've just played in our first day of a tournament, and we shot, what did we shoot?
68.
68. Pretty good.
Yeah, good playing, Tom.
Thank you. 3 birdies he had. A lot of fun. We're going to be talking about Sean's journey on the road in between Meridian and Morgantown. How in the world he ended up in almost heaven, West Virginia. Woo. That's all we got. Come back. Enjoy our show.
Thoughts keep running through my head as I walk this road with nothing ahead. The sun beams down on my face as I walk this road that leads to amazing grace.
Sean, is this a pitch or a chip?
It's a pitch mini lob, okay?
Okay.
We find ourselves here many times, so we just got to have soft hands. Not bad.
Not bad.
Just get
You're
it
on
up
the
there.
green?
Yeah.
That's a
we'll
hard
take
shot.
it.
So we're looking at the text of Jesus ascending to heaven, and he ascends from the valley of the shadows and the death that he experienced, and he goes all the way up to heaven. And that's kind of the journey we're on. You know, we're down here in the valley right now, and we're working our way up. How in the world did you go from the valley of Meridian, Mississippi, all the way up to almost heaven, Morgantown, West Virginia?
Well, I mean, I just got lucky, you know, and Northwood and Meridian have played a large part in that. You know, people along the way that help you in your career, and I just, you know, it's a blessing to come back here and see so many familiar faces. I used to pick up range balls, wash the golf carts, you know, get the clubs out.
Quite a few years.
Yeah, I used to work with Mr. Gambling out here, and Walter's been a staple in Northwood, so.
49 years.
I started working here when I was in senior in high school, all the way through junior college when I was at Meridian Community College, and then even a few years when I was at Mississippi State, I'd come back and work in the summer. So you're looking at 17 to 23, spent the time working here, and went to work for the Mississippi Golf Association, and then got the job at MCC as head golf coach, and then Mississippi State, and then Morgantown. So
Wow, big ascent. Well, when Jesus said, go out from Jerusalem to Judea to Samaria to the ends of the earth, he says, start at home. And so this is the way you're Jerusalem. It's where you developed your friendships, who you were, answer the life questions, who am I, where did I come from, and discovering. What do you love about Meridian compared to maybe other places you've lived?
Well, it's always home, you know, and it's just, you know, even when you drive down the streets, you go, well, they haven't paved that since I was in high school. you still know the potholes and the road and the bumps on the road, and then just the people that are here. You know, it's I always call it a time capsule. You know, it's always kind of the same people are going to be playing at the same time, and you drive around town and. You know, I think home, whether it's, you know, Meridian for you or, you know, Atlanta or wherever it is, home is always a special place. And for me, it's the Queen City, and it's Northwood Country Club and Briarwood, and so it's just a special place.
Well, golf has been your whole world from the time you were a little guy with your dad, and now you're coaching. You're carrying on that legacy. How do you blend giving golf lessons with letting people swing their own swing?
Well, you know me as a coach. I'm not going to change their swing. I'm not a technical coach by any means. Anybody that's played for me the last 15 plus years knows, like, you know, you swing your swing. Like, I just want you to be competitive. I want you to compete, have a lot of pride in what you do, and prepare, and, you know, let the chips fall where they may, kind of deal. So I just sort of try to help them in life. You know, try to help them think about what they're going to be as a husband, as a father, as a businessman, you know, and how they can just help others around them. You know, I talk about being a good teammate all the time, because you're going to shoot 82 one day, you're going to shoot 62 one day. How are you going to be a good teammate? You know, when you shoot that 62, you're going to be, is your chest going to be out and say, I'm the man, or are you going to lift up your other guys and say, hey, you know, today was my day, but tomorrow could be your day.
He's the best coach in the world, right?
So tell me about your family. Tell me about Kate and
Well,
Keenan.
Yeah, they mean everything. I mean, Kate's been a blessing. We got married my first year when I was a head golf coach at Meridian Community College. So she's been with me the whole way. So I made her move from Meridian up to Starkville, which really wasn't that big of a move, because she went to Mississippi State as well. But getting her to move from Starkville to Morgantown was a big jump. But she was so supportive, and she's really planted her roots in Morgantown, made good friends, got a job. Keenan is rocking and rolling there in school at St. Francis School, and he's in 2nd grade, about to go in the 3rd grade. And he's into all kinds of sports up there. And it's really cool growing up in a university town, especially a big athletic university like West Virginia. They've been awesome, and I wouldn't be where I am without them.
Well, when you think about Keenan and what he's experiencing, he's already got great manners. He carries himself well. He's got spirit. He's got joy. And playing golf with him yesterday was just absolutely a blast.
He has a lot of fun doing whatever it is we're doing. He wants to have fun, which is great. I mean, that's, you know, I coach 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds, and being around his friends, you know, in his little group, I learn more as a coach, because I'm like, we should be more like them. You know, they show up to practice, they want to have fun, they want to compete, and they want others to do well. You know, so I learned a lot from him, and he really brings a lot of joy and energy. So that's why I love having him around our guys.
This is Keenan Covich, live at Northwood in Meridian, Mississippi, USA. Here we are with Tom Sorensen, my dad, Sean Covich, who is about to hit an iron shot, and my mom, Kate Covich. And there's number 9, green.
This is the hardest shot for me. It's that I hit a chunk shot, right? I hit behind the ball.
You play the duff and run.
Yeah. This is the toughest shot for me. And I get nervous over it. But today you've kind of reminded me to relax.
Yeah, soft hands, soft arms, and just a nice fluid swing.
Yeah. I tend to get to, and that's kind of the road in between, is you need somebody to come alongside of you to tell you to breathe and relax, and God's got this, and you know, you be yourself. And it's easy to compare yourself out here on the golf course, because we want to be that other person. But everybody's got strengths and weaknesses in their game. And you might drive the ball great, but you might struggle with this wedge right here, or vice versa. And you've helped me a lot, not only in the golf game, but in the game of life. Yeah. So we've been together here in Meridian, which is your Jerusalem. I've seen you in Samaria, up there in Starkville, and now Morgantown, and then to Belize and to the ends of the world. But that's really the concentric circles of the calling as missionaries. Are there some things in your life, like with your faith, that you've struggled with? Because when you went to Morgantown, I know the faith life is a little bit different. People kind of find their own way, and it's a little...
Yeah, it's you know, it's a melting pot up there. I think in the South, you know, everybody, you know, Christian is pretty much accepted everywhere. You're in the belt buckle, the Bible Belt, so to speak. And then when you get outside of, you know, that, you know, things are a little bit different, which is fine. I mean, it's a great opportunity to share your faith with everybody that you come in contact with. So we've loved moving away, because it's really challenged, you know, our faith, and you know, made us closer to each other, made us lean in more to God's word, and you know, so it's been really good. But every step of the way, whether it's Meridian, Starkville, Morgantown, you know, I've learned something, and God's always, I mean, he's going to be teaching me something all the way till I'm gone. And that's the thing, when you get to that next chapter, you go, well, I feel like I know everything. And then God just opens up a whole new, you know, it just opens your eyes to something else that he's trying to teach you. You know, when I first got into coaching, I was not married, didn't have a kid, felt like I was not selfish, I wasn't, you know, immature. Well, once you get married, you learn you're pretty selfish and you're immature. And then when you have a kid, you definitely learn those things. You know, you have no patience, you know, so he's constantly just working on you. And every player he brings into my life, I feel like he brought them into my life for a reason. I'm going to learn something from them. And they really don't learn a lot from me, but I feel like I learn a lot from them. And so I'm just excited about what God has in store in the future.
Nice shot, Sean. Tell us about it.
Oh, got lucky. I was thinking 12 different things, but settled on just nice, long, and hit it as hard as you can, you know?
So what's it like to be a coach at West Virginia?
It's a blessing. I mean, anytime you're a coach and you got student athletes playing for you, it's awesome. It's really awesome. But West Virginia is a special place. It really is. It means a lot to the state. And anytime you got the Flying WV on you, it kind of means everything to that state. So it's really an honor, and it's really cool being a Mountaineer.
So when you leave here and go back to Morgantown, you kind of get refreshed here, don't you? You kind of go back to your roots. Kind of sends you off. Probably helps coming down a few times a year.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I go back, it's definitely when we go back to Morgantown, it's different. And then when we're here, it's it's a vacation, and you get refreshed. Like you said, you get to see a lot of family and friends, and it's just two different worlds, But I'm always the West Virginia golf coach no matter where I go, and always working, trying to recruit. But here's just it's like stepping back into your high school reunion, so it's a lot of fun.
That's a good shot, Dad. The best shot in the world, I mean.
Well, hey, thank you for being with us for the road in between. And we are dear friends in the faith, dear friends in life, and even better partners in golf.
Good playing today.
Thank you. It was fun. All right, stick around. We'll be right back.
At Rick Justice Automotive, you'll find the right vehicle at just the right price. We have new inventory of late model, low mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs arriving every week. Come see us today, and you'll see how we've been able to help your family and friends find the perfect vehicle. Financing and a 57-month, 57,000-mile warranty are available on every vehicle. For an awesome car buying experience, come to Rick Justice Automotive. We take pride in earning your business every day.
Vision, quality, experience. Glass Incorporated's expert glaziers can handle single window panes to entire high-rise buildings. Whether you need storefront windows, skylights, mirrors, or shower enclosures, no job is too big or too small. Glass Incorporated, your commercial and residential glass experts. Locations in Meridian, Orange Beach, and the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Welcome back to the road in between. So Sean, we're in the church pews. You're back here in Mississippi. And we're looking at this text of the apostles wanting to know, is this the time? Is this the time, Lord, when you're going to restore Israel? You're going to take charge. You're going to be the king. And Jesus says it's not for you to know at times. And we have had a lot of conversations together as friends through the years about what in the world am I doing on this earth? How can I glorify you, God? What's my calling? And how can you use me, Lord? And you have grown spiritually. I've gotten to watch you develop your faith through the years, and it's been a treasure for me. Not only to be your pastor through the years, but to be your friend with Kate and Keenan and be a part of that. So this story today really is about time. Lord, is this the time? And here you are a Mississippi guy, and then the Lord has led you in different directions. Tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, as far as coaching, college golf, it started here in Meridian, at Meridian Community College, a place I'm very comfortable with. I grew up here, like I said, out of Briarwood, where my dad was a pro, and I worked at Northwood, under Mr. Gamblin, and spent my whole life basically somewhere, either at Briarwood or Northwood. And so coaching at Meridian was very comfortable for me. And then we moved on to Mississippi State, where I got an assistant coaching job there another school I was pretty comfortable with because I went to school there. And then we got a call to go to Morgantown, West Virginia, where I never had stepped foot in the state of West Virginia until my interview. And we did not know anybody there when we moved there. And then actually a few months into the job, the athletic director that hired me left, and we got a brand new athletic director. So a lot of uncertainty, and it really drew me closer to God and drew our family closer together because we were all that we had, and we really had to trust God that this is where He wants us to be, and it has been an amazing trip.
You know the word for time, there's chronos time, which is chronological, which is, all right, Lord, give me the itinerary. I'm yours, but I kind of need to know the schedule. And God goes, sorry, it doesn't work that way. I don't give chronos time, I give kairos time, which is God's timing. And at first you think, oh, Lord, what am I doing here? How did I end up in whatever place you are? And then you look back on it and you go, oh, now I get it. But it's usually a lot of time later that you see how God has worked it out. So when Jesus says, look, it's not for you to know the times, but you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and Judea, Samaria, and to the ends of the earth. So tell me about, was your Jerusalem?
Well, I would say, home has always been Meridian, and that's a place that we felt, very comfortable. And, I spent over 30 years here in Meridian. And then when you get sent, somewhere else, right now to Morgantown, it's definitely, you feel like you're in a brand new place and you don't know anybody, and you're having to find your way with your faith. Where are you going to go to church? What's your faith family going to be? With your profession, the people you work with. And for me, I get to be around a lot of cool student athletes and things like that, which is fun. And then, where's your family going to go to school, and what's your wife going to do, and, things like that. So that part of it, like I said, you really had to trust God that this is your purpose in life, is to be here.
So your Jerusalem was Meridian, and then your Samaria, which is where Jesus sent them out after that. It starts at home, and you're a minister at home in Meridian. And then Mississippi State was kind of your Samaria.
Yeah, it's a place we're familiar with because I went to school there. Kate went to school there. And so you're right. The first two stops as a coach were at two schools I went to.
Okay.
So I was very familiar with Meridian Community College, and I was very familiar with Mississippi State University because I went to both those schools. So you're right. Those are, places I'm definitely familiar with.
Right. And then God sent you out further out after that. Didn't start there, but you started the program from scratch. Right. And tell us about that whole, God called you to start something with Him and to create a program, and the advantages to it and maybe some disadvantages.
Well, it was definitely hard. It was really hard because we didn't have a practice facility. I didn't have an office. We didn't have a golf ball. I didn't have any players. So, all the kids that you're talking to, you're selling a vision to them. This is what it's going to look like 1 year down the road, 2 years down the road, 5 years down the road. So you're really having to rely on their faith in the program and what you're trying to build. So that was definitely hard, but at the same time, you get to make it your own. There had been no bad memories yet. There's nothing. Coach wasn't fired before you. The program hadn't been bad. It's just there was no program. So you got to build it from the ground up and kind of do things the way you wanted them to be done.
All right, so what is the tradition of the burning of the couches? Do they do that for golf victories?
So you're talking about when there's a big Mountaineer victory in football, usually they'll burn the couches. Not so much these days just because it's kind of frowned upon, but there's just couches just sitting out on front porches, so you might as well, they kind of scoot them in the streets and then burn them. So, but hey, if that's happening, then that means we just won a big game, so we're fine with it.
How about that? That's a unique tradition.
Yes.
Have you, in this journey, have you had some times where you really did question, like, okay, Lord, it's snowing and it's May.
Right.
And what am I doing here? I don't have many friends.
Right.
You're on the road recruiting. Kate's back at home. Keenan is growing up. Did you ever have moments where you?
Definitely the first few years were that way. But I think as a coach, you always have that. Just it's nagging at you is that you're leaving your family at home. Whether you're going on a recruiting trip, or you're going on a golf trip, or you're going to go meet with donors, or you're going to go play in this scramble to raise money for the program. It's just always tough. It really is. And I've always said it's difficult going to watch other, people's kids play a sport when I'm not even watching my own kid. So that's definitely really, really hard. And it was hard the first few years because we weren't very good. And, like I said, it is snowing and Kate was having to do everything at home, and I'm traveling across the world, really, going to Germany and Scotland and Canada and Texas, all over. So, but yeah, I think that's never going to go away. Even when Keenan gets 13 or 17 or 20, and if I'm still fortunate to be coaching, that's always the hard part. But you have to balance it with, wow, we get to do some really cool things as a family. Go to football games and get pretty good seats, and he gets to meet all the student athletes and all the coaching staff, football and basketball, and he gets a front row seat to volleyball games and women's basketball games and really behind the scenes stuff. And look, when I'm not working, then we get a lot of time together.
So to me, you are a missionary, in that you were called to Meridian, then Mississippi State, and now Morgantown. But you have a small group ministry. I mean, you don't have a big old team. You've got 8 to 10 guys that you get to develop. And to me, you've always been a life coach.
I'm not a good golf coach, so I got to be something. So I try to be a life coach. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's all the way from Meridian to West Virginia. We've had an opportunity, usually 8 to 12 kids a year that are on your team, and I've coached them. You've met them from Europe and from South America and North America and all over the world, Asia, and all different faiths and backgrounds and families. And you just try to. I always say I just try to make them 1% better in something. Sometimes it's not golf, but it could be in time management, or it could be in the way they go about their business with maybe their family or their girlfriend, or I just try to let them see me as a father more than as a coach, father and a husband. And not that it's not perfect, but I want to show them it is not perfect, but it's really about how you make that your priority, and so that.
And I love how you include Keenan and Kate into the whole journey.
Well, I want to show them I'm a really good recruiter, and if I could get Kate to marry me, then I can definitely recruit. But no, we like to have them around practice, and we have the team over for dinners, and they love to come to tournaments when they can, and it's just great because they bring so much joy and enthusiasm and just positivity when they're around. So it really helps the team. I believe that.
No doubt. Well, you've got a great sense of humor, wonderful family, Kate and Keenan, and you just shine with God's love, and it just pours out over you. I was privileged to watch you develop as you're a very relational coach, and that to me is the greatest gift you've got. And when Jesus, that to me, when he left this planet, he left it with relationships, and he said, "Look, God, I glorified you. You glorified me. Now these people behind me are going to glorify together. I am in you. You're in me. We are one. We're all one." And it's like a kumbaya experience. And it's the last thing Jesus did before he left was he stretched out his hands. And like that stained glass right there, it's a blessing. He left him with a blessing. And that's my hope and prayer for you, that whatever program, however long you're there, we don't know the time, how long, but as you're there, you bring a blessing, and that's the gift that I think you can bring and are bringing to this new generation of folks that are discovering what is it? Who am I? Where did I come from? Why am I here? And where am I going? Because we're all on that road in between different mission fields, home, work, beyond, and God's got His hand on us. But He brings people alongside of us, and He's brought you into my life, and I've been so thankful for that.
Well, thank you. And you know, all the players that you've been a part of their lives too, that we coach, I feel like we coach together at Meridian, you know, and how much they bring to us, and they make us better people, and they make us better coaches. And, you know, you learn from all your players. You know, I feel like, you know, as a coach, you should be the one, you know, giving them all this knowledge, but you really learn from your players, and it helps you become a better coach down the road.
Right. So I'll close you with this story. It was when we were at Huntsville, and it was the championship of junior college. And you said, come on, guys, we're going to go up on top of that. Was it a mountain?
It was a mountain, yeah.
And they didn't know where we were going. And we had this scripture planned out of when Moses was looking out over the Israel as they were fighting a battle. And as long as Moses raised up his staff, Israel was winning, but when he got tired, it would droop down and would drop, and then all of a sudden Israel began to lose. So a person on the right, person on the left held up the staff for Moses as he got tired, and we use that image of we're here for each other, one on the left, one on the right, and together there's a battle that can be won. And so what I loved about that whole week was when we look out at one another, you and I would raise our hands up, and they would lift their golf club up in the air. We didn't have to say a thing. We just held it up to say, hey, we got you. We love you. We're right there with you. Whew, that was powerful.
That was. You could look a fairway over and just, like you said, they wouldn't say anything, and that meant they were fighting. They were going to keep fighting and finished national champs runner-up that year, and we had a national champion. Brant Guerin won it, so that was a special moment, and I think they'll remember that message, you know, as they become, you know, businessmen and also husbands and fathers, you know, just keep fighting for each other.
Right. Stick around. We'll be right back.
At Rick Justice Automotive, you'll find the right vehicle at just the right price. We have new inventory of late model, low mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs arriving every week. Come see us today, and you'll see how we've been able to help your family and friends find the perfect vehicle. Financing and a 57-month, 57,000-mile warranty are available on every vehicle. For an awesome car buying experience, come to Rick Justice Automotive. We take pride in earning your business every day.
Welcome back to The Road in Between. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make His face shine upon you and be gracious unto you this day and forevermore. On behalf of Sean and Kate and Keenan, have a great day. Enjoy your Sabbath now and forever. Amen. All right.